There are buying types there, depending on their function in the company. CEO, CFO, engineer, user buyer, right? There are also personality types. Okay. Now, there are many tools available to analyse people's personality types. Sadly, you won't have one of those forms on you and have the ability to give it to the person you're talking to and say, before we get into our sales conversation today, just fill this out for me so I can understand which personality type you are, so I can understand how best to have a conversation with you. It's never going to happen. Or you can't say, hey, listen, do you ever do Myers-Briggs? Do you not happen to have your Myers-Briggs report here, do you? I can have a quick look at it. Or did you do DISC? You got your DISC report here, I have a quick look at your DISC. Which one are you, you know? You're not going to do that. But you can make an analysis of basically where this person sits by 2 decisions. Does that sound doable? Can you deal with 2 decisions? Yeah, I think we can all deal with 2 decisions, right? That's enough complexity, 2 decisions. Decision 1 on the horizontal is on assertion. Are they low or high? How can you tell if people are high or low in assertion terms? Is an assertive person usually highly confident?
Yes.
Is a person who's low in assertion usually rather shy?
Yes. Usually.
They don't put their opinion out. Assertive person, they'll tell you their opinion. They'll actually tell you what to do. Right? Person low in assertion terms won't do that. They won't offer an opinion and they won't tell you what to do. Okay. So yes, body language, energy, voice tone, what they say, how they say it. These are indicators. So when you meet them, you get a sense, oh, quite strong, confident, tell you their opinion, bit mild, not so willing to share, bit guarded, not pushy at all, right? So you can basically place them on that continuum, right?
The Japanese will tend to be low, right? Especially
Some will be. Some will be, yeah. Some won't be too.
Yeah.
You've got a Japanese gentleman working in your company, I think.
Yes, 2. 2 actually.
We do, yeah.
Toda.
Used to, yeah. Do you think he's down here?
No.
He's Japanese though.
Yes.
So, exactly, right?
Yeah.
They're not all
Oh, yeah.
here. Yes, there might be proportionally a larger number than elsewhere, but they're not all here.
And it does take, maybe, does it also take into account the type of role they're in?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
So if they're back office, they're more
Can,
likely
yes.
to be...
Well, if you're a back office person, you probably choose this being in the back office, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Right? The big mistake companies make is taking people from the back office and sticking them up where they need to be highly assertive. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It goes against the grain of their personality. Second decision. Okay. Are people or task oriented? Now, a people-oriented person will talk about people. People they know, people we know mutually, trying to find a connection. They'll talk about how decisions impact the team, how the team feels, impact of this on the team, that type of conversation. Right? That's how you get a hint. This person is rather people-oriented. Task, outcomes, numbers, targets, milestones, budgets, tends to be very clear. Classic military approach. Okay, team, We're all going to die, but we're going to take Hill 101. High task, low people. You understand? And CEOs, they're often like that. We're going to make our numbers. We don't care what happens to these guys. They're just there to make the number. You don't like it? Leave. This is a place for winners. That's where we pay the big bucks here, the big outcomes. You don't like how I run the shop? Leave. We'll find someone who does. You know? My way or the highway, boss. Right? That's a task oriented. So what you find is on this side, very assertive, very task driven. We call them driver. In Japanese, one-man shocho, the owner of the company owner. The CEO, okay, the managing director. Assertive and pushing on the numbers. The opposite is what we call amiable. Okay. Not very assertive and very concerned about people. I mean, the classic is the librarian. Quiet person, takes care of people, no big voice, no big actions, understated, cares about the people. That type of thing. Very distinct opposites. High people, high assertion, expressives. Salespeople, trainers, actors. These sorts of people tend to be people-oriented, but assertive. It's very hard to be successful in sales if you're not assertive, because you have to ask for the order. You have to tell people what you think. You have to convince them to think the same thing. Okay? The opposite here, just a bit of light. Analytical. Okay? Accountants, scientists, doctors, engineers, people who are very keen on the detail, not so much worried about the people, worried about the detail, and they're not so assertive. You think of your bookkeeping people, think of your accounting people, think of engineers.
I was just going to say engineers.
Sorry?
I just met an engineer the other way. He's kind of on that low assertion, high task.
Yeah. Yeah.
Area.
3 decimal places will be just fine. You give 3 decimal places to one of these people, they're happy. Now that's the point. We are all of these. We are all of these, and we can move. But we tend to gravitate to one of these. I'm a driver. But when I lead my team, when I'm in sales mode, when I'm in trainer mode, I move up. I go from here up into here, into expressive. Sometimes I might have to move from here across into analytical. We start dealing with the numbers for the company, the P&L, the balance sheet, strategic planning. I might need to move into a very number, spending a lot of time on spreadsheets, analysing numbers. So we do move, we're not stuck. It's rare I'm ever going to be here. Actually, that's just probably never going to happen. I'm too assertive to move to that spot. But as a salesperson, when I meet this person, I have to now change my conversation. I have to change the tone of my voice, my body language, the content of what I talk about, to appeal to what they're interested in. We've got to get on the same wavelength. Now, my wavelength is exact opposite. But when I meet this person, I've got to tone it right down.
I think
I've got to slow it down.
I
I've
think
got
it's a
to
really
take
good
the
point.
voice down.
Yeah.
I've got to start talking about people. I've got to start talking about the team, how the team is going to feel about this. Right? That's the point. So the point is, it doesn't matter where you are on this chart. If you're here and you're dealing with a driver, don't waste their time. Lift your tempo up, more high energy, talk faster. Jeanette, we need to make this decision today. There are 3 reasons why we should start on the back cover immediately. They are A, B, and C. Let's do it. Now, a driver will not be offended by that. Yeah, good idea, let's do it now. Get out of my office, I'm busy. That's a driver. Happy. Very happy with that. But if you're an amiable, you'd die before you'd want to say that to another amiable. Okay, just not built, not you. But hang on, we're not talking about you, we're talking about them. This is how they like to work. You know, if you're dealing with expressive or if you're an analytical, don't kill them with detail. Right? The classic is you start talking in numbers and data and detail and blah, blah, blah. They're not interested in the paperwork. They're not interested in the admin. This is the classic with salespeople. They hate the admin. You have to fill out all these things in the CRM on the meeting you had. And what do they say? Waste of time. I should be sitting in front of customers making sales. That's where the best use of my time is. Form filling, CRM input, waste of my valuable time. Because they're out here. They're big picture people. They want to be with people. They don't want to be locked down into detail. So when you talk to these guys, don't lock them down into detail. When you talk to these guys, 3 decimal points, right? 3 decimal places. Lots of detail, lots of evidence. You speak in terms of a lot more data, proof, testimonials. All of that stuff is required for these people. Doesn't matter which one you are, when you meet one of these guys, you need to talk in terms of what interests them. Now, it doesn't exactly matter. Often the CEO, often the CFO, often the technical buyer are here. User buyer could be any of these. Right? Right? It's not exact match. They don't. Trust me, they have no problem with that.
I tried to do 2ED a few times. It didn't work. That's right. I mean, there's other issues why, but still.
But that's the point, though. I mean, I didn't get offended.
No, I mean, I know. Yeah, I know. Your
I didn't
personality.
think, pushy. I don't like that. I think, well, yeah, I got it, but you know,
You
for
had
what?
others, yeah.
So you know, there's no offence taken by these guys. But if I'm up here and you try that with me, I'll be offended. That's the point. Well, your approach is wrong. So the point is, you've only got to make. Can you make 2 decisions? I think everyone can make 2 decisions. You're not going to get it perfect, but basically, if you just understand, they're fairly assertive, they might be expressive, they might be driver, it doesn't matter. You need to up the tempo. If they're low on assertion, you need to drop the tempo. Right? These you'll pick analyticals pretty quickly. They're detail oriented. They'll ask you, well, exactly how many centimetres width is there on a page, and how many in the height, and what's the bleed, and what's the gutter? You get that question, there's a hint. Right? There's a hint right there. They are very detailed. You know, I've got an analytical in my hands right here. So you're going to say, well, the bleed is 3.512 millimetres. Right?
Close.
They're happy to hear it's 3.152 as opposed to 3. You hear what I'm saying? So you give them that, you just understand what you've got there. All right? So that's a recap. All good?
Yep.